I was basically forced to quit my job. Now they're begging me to stay. I have worked for a very popular coffee company for almost 7 years. I have always been a great employee overall. I have always busted my ass every shift, picked up others' slack, and put 110% into everything I do there. I have dealt with severe understaffing, crazy busy days where I didn't even get breaks. And I have always been treated fairly well until recently. I started to have a lot of physical health problems in December 2021. These rolled over into 2022 and caused me to miss some shifts here and there. This is when I started to have issues with my job. In February, I was given a verbal warning after one of my supervisors lied and said I no call, no showed. I checked the caller ID on the work phone, which proved I called multiple times. Then, in March, I got COVID and missed an entire week of work. I was so sick I was in the hospital. And multiple managers gave me shit for calling out even though I was hospitalized. When I came back, I was suffering from a lot of post-COVID symptoms like pain and numbness in my legs and arms, which led to several more call-outs. Can't stand and work a busy shift for 6 hours if I can't even walk. I told my store manager I wished to take an LOA, leave of absence, to be treated for my health problems, so they would not continue to negatively affect my work performance. She proceeded to avoid me at work for over a month, so I was unable to get my leave processed. She needed to sign off on it. When I finally was able to track her down, she announced she would be taking a leave and leaving the company, and told me I had 3 days to submit my paperwork. On her last day, she sat down and told me she would not approve my leave because of my prior attendance issues, and asked what I planned to do. I told her if I could not get time off to take care of myself, I was putting in my notice. This is my last week with the company, and my store has now lost about 8 workers in the span of 4 to 5 weeks, which is most of their employees. I have had my new store manager as well as several supervisors ask what they can do to get me to stay, all but begging me to not leave them, saying I am one of the best workers there. Funny how I was all but disposable until they realized they needed me around. You want a LOA and an increase in pay. Ask for much better terms, take them, and start looking immediately for a better job. Let them burn. Honestly, it seems like your former manager was just fully checked out and left you holding the bag. I was actually in a similar situation. I'm the guy that doesn't miss shifts, do my job, and also pick up a lot of people's shift even last minute for whatever happened to them. The problem is we get overrun a lot because they don't put enough people on shift. I put in my notice, got cussed out. My boss made a bunch of excuses as to justify why I should just accept being overrun as being okay, and therefore I should stay. I told them I would be quitting anyways. They just told me they wish I would stay, but never offered a raise, to make changes or what they can do to get me to stay. So funny, bosses have the mentality of, let's just hire another person, when this job market it's hard for them to find good worker. It takes longer to hire new people and many of them will quit shortly after starting, when they can perhaps spend a few hours a day to give current employees a raise and more compensation. Jesus, what a bitch. She is leaving the company in 3 days and can't even cut you the courtesy of approving your paperwork? I mean, by the time anyone else finds out, she will be out of there. What could we do to get you to stay? Quote, it would involve you obtaining a time machine and a conscience, both of which seem unlikely at this point. I'd run away, but grabbing bennies on the way out isn't a bad idea. Loyalty isn't rewarded anymore. It's even punished most of the time. Not giving you anything is a common tactic, whether it's conscious or not. Whether it's negligence or intentional, it's either mismanagement or gaslighting. Unfortunately, you're one of many, but perhaps there's some power you can take back by quitting. It's certainly reaffirming to see your real value when they beg you to stay. Fuck 'em. Take the job, and never show up again. Demand higher wages too. They call asking around. Explain why. They're gutless scum suckers and they deserve to suffer for it. I have previously advised against unresigning. On this forum, this might be a very rare exception. Putting myself in OP's place. Since the company keeps asking what it can do for me, I might reply that I want a LOA of maximum duration X weeks. To start on date, and an hourly rate of $Y upon my return. I must have this confirmed in writing by the company before the end of my final shift this week. Because at that moment, my offer will expire and I will depart for good. If they don't bite, I haven't lost anything. If they comply, then I'd get myself well during my LOA. Maybe do a little job hunting. And then return to work at my new rate of pay and see what it's like. If the new manager is as bad as the old one, I can start looking for another job then. But it sounds like OP has decided to leave. And if so, good luck to him or her. Leave but make a written statement like your post explaining why. Doing nothing is complicit in the status quo. I was a retail convenience manager years ago. I had a great staff. I left and another manager came in. In a short time he fired the best employee. Within 3 months everyone had quit. The fired employee sued and won. So this could be all about management. Document everything. Explain that the last manager would not give a LOA and you have considered legal action. Then ask for what you want. An increase in pay, LOA, better schedule, better treatment, etc. See what they say. Since you are considering leaving anyway, it doesn't matter what they think. By any chance, is it Diedrich Coffee? I worked for them 20 years ago when it was called Coffee People. They treated everybody like shit. If you work in a coffee store, I'm sorry to say that they will not entertain a wage increase like some other comments are suggesting. Management will hire a bunch of students for next to nothing as replacements. File for protection under https www.dal.gov/agencies/whd/fmla and take your leave. Give them written warning. They can worry about the paperwork. Double the salary. A year's salary severance package. And a leave of absence. And if they say, but, you say, and an apology. Tell them to double your pay, or you're walking. Good stuff, but please don't reinforce the phrase, giving 110%, as this is management bullcrap.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.